All right, today we're going to dive into something called the AA Atomy method. It's a system that's been designed to help people tackle one of the toughest certifications in IT. And look, this isn't just about passing some test. It's a whole methodology built to change the way you actually solve problems when you're under the gun. So, if you've got your sights set on that VMware vSphere Foundation Support exam, the 2V0-18.25, you already know it's a big deal. This isn't your average multiple choice quiz. It's a serious test of what you can actually do. The real question is, how do you even begin to prepare for something like that? Okay, first things first, let's really get our heads around what this challenge is all about. This exam, it's not about just spitting back facts you've memorized. Nope. It's designed to feel like a real-world IT firefight with all the pressure and all the complexity that comes with it. And that right there is the most crucial point. It's not about whether you can list off a bunch of features from a textbook. It's about this. Can you look at a complex problem while the clock is ticking and figure out the safest, most effective thing to do next? It's a test of your reasoning, not just your memory. This brings us to probably the biggest trap in exam prep, one that so many of us fall into. We're taught our whole lives to study by memorizing stuff. But for a challenge like this one, that's the exact opposite of what you should be doing. Let's just be real for a second. Trying to cram every single technical detail into your head is not only exhausting, it just doesn't work. Sure, you might be able to recall a few isolated facts, but when a question throws a unique scenario at you, that big library of facts in your head won't help you connect the dots to solve the actual problem. So if that's the wrong way, what's the right way? Well, the whole idea behind this method is to help you move beyond memorization toward structured diagnostic thinking. It's a total shift in how you approach the entire thing. So what on earth is structured diagnostic thinking? It sounds kind of fancy, but it's really not. Think of it as a mental model, a repeatable process for breaking down a problem, figuring out what's really going on, and then testing your ideas before you actually do anything. Honestly, this is the skill that separates the pros from the novices. So how do you actually build this new way of thinking? Well, the course gives you a whole toolkit designed for exactly that. Let's break down what's inside. The whole method is built on a super simple but really powerful 4-part cycle. You plan, you learn, you practice, and you review. Let's take a quick look at how each of these pieces works. It all starts with a solid plan to manage your time. Then the learn part is your core knowledge, kind of like a super focused study guide. Next, and this is so important, you practice with questions that force you to think, not just remember. And finally, you review how you did to find your weak spots and tweak your plan. It's a loop. And when we talk about practice, we really mean it. The course has, get this, 319 scenario-based questions. That's not just a big number for the sake of it. It's about giving you enough at-bats, enough repetition to really master these diagnostic skills for every single topic on the exam. And that's the key difference here. Every single question is like a mini simulation. It's not just asking, hey, what is this thing? It's asking, okay, here's the situation, what do you do next, and more importantly, why? This whole approach is built to prove you can actually use the knowledge, not just spit it back out. All right, so now let's see how all of this comes together. The real magic isn't in any one of these parts, but in how they all connect to create this dynamic, continuous prep loop. When you see it side by side like this, it becomes so clear. The old way is static, right? You read something, you try to memorize it, and you just kind of hope for the best. This new method is totally active. You're building a mental model, you're testing it with real scenarios, and you're constantly getting better in this continuous cycle. Yeah, this is so important to get. This isn't a textbook you read once and then put on a shelf. It's a training system you use over and over again. Every time you go through that cycle of planning, learning, practicing, and reviewing, you're making those mental models stronger until that structured diagnostic thinking just becomes second nature. Like professional intuition. And what's cool is that this loop is totally flexible. If you're just starting out, you can really focus on the foundational knowledge. But if you're an experienced pro just looking to brush up, you can jump right into the deep end with practice sets to find and fix any weak spots you might have. So let's tie this all together. Why is this approach so effective? Well, it's because it's designed with a really clear understanding of two things: the exam itself and how people actually learn complex skills. It works because it's completely focused on the official exam blueprint, so you're not wasting time studying stuff that doesn't matter. It uses proven learning hacks like retrieval practice to actually make the knowledge stick. Everything is based on realistic scenarios. And maybe most importantly, it trains you for that one critical skill, making the right call when it counts. And really, this is the biggest takeaway. Passing the exam just becomes a side effect of the real goal. And that goal is to build the genuine competence and intuition of someone who's been doing this job for years. You're not just learning answers, you're learning how to think. So the final question really is for you. Are you ready to move past just memorizing facts and start building the skills that won't just get you certified, but will make you a real pro in your field? Because that's what this is all about.